Good morning, everybody. This is Matt with TheLowCashHomestead. That is a barrel fire. That's actually the heat shield that I built for burning out stumps. It's two barrels connected together. One of them has a bunch of holes punched in it. Let's go over to the other side here. For air intake, we have a stump here, and I dug around that stump. We put the heat shield on it. I filled the bottom of the heat shield with cardboard boxes. We piled off-fall and deadfall on top of that, and then we lit it up with a propane can. And it's about 6:15 in the morning. I like to start these when the grass is all wet still from a little bit of rain we got last night, as well as the dew. So I like to start these when the grass is wet. I always have them inside of a heat shield, keep it contained. And we're going to start at about an hour or so before we have to take any of the kids to the bus stop or get the little ones off to school. I mean the littler ones that aren't riding the bus. Get them off to school, and also before we go get Miss TheLowCashHomestead from work, so this can burn down a bit and everything can stay inside the barrel. I'm out with TheLowCashHomestead. One of the things we're doing today is burning out a stump. Thank you very much. Have a good day. This is the last stump that we burnt out. You can see it's reduced to pretty much nothing. And what we'll do is we'll just stir that in, throw some topsoil on top of it. Call it a day on that one. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Matt with TheLowCashHomestead. I am standing under a trellis of groceries. Check this out. Kentucky climbers, they're everywhere. National picklers, those are everywhere. We're going to take a quick walk. I'm going to walk backwards, and you're going to notice that in some places I have some leaves that are looking pretty cruddy. Like right here. I don't worry about it that much. In this configuration, I have found that my bottom leaves kind of die off. But I don't worry about it too much. I just pull them down because our food production is still prolific. So as long as production is prolific, I don't sweat it. Hey everybody, this is Matt with TheLowCashHomestead. We got quite a bit on our high tunnel done today. This yellow strap, this is a toe strap that you see. It's looped up around the beginning rafter. It's pulled back and nailed with a couple of these cap nails, nailed through the webbing, the double webbed part here of the toe strap down by the handle. That's keeping it up. So we had all the rafters pre-built. We got all the rafters put in, the center purlin put in, and started on this one, and got all this kind of pulled into the same plane. But it seems like with this design, if you don't put the center purlin in first, you're going to have a very hard time keeping the building standing, even though the rafters want to wiggle back and forth. So if you plumb each leg and then level each purlin, if we go back and slip the top, and what I mean by slipping the top is loosening the nuts and allowing all the rafters to fall in, so to speak, and then tightening it back up. Is probably how we're going to go about this with the way that it's, and basically I built this per instructions in the book. And why they have you putting the side purlins on first or after the center, and we were trying to figure that out, and you put the center purlins on basically because you got to keep the building there because it wiggles around quite a bit. And this one only has the center purlin in it, and these here that we put the side purlins in, you know, they don't have that place. So if you try to measure from one leg to another based on that, without this first side purlin in, the whole system still moves around quite a bit, then you're going to end up with something that's going to be leaning, and then that's going to compound through the length of the greenhouse. So we're plumbing each leg and leveling each purlin as we go through. I'm pretty excited. We have this, I underestimated 14 feet plus adding equipment for the grade, and by doing that, I mean adding a second post like this one to the grade on the rear. Really made it a lot. I think it's 16.5 or 17.5 feet. And it's shorter at this end and taller at this end because the ground not only grades this way in the rear, but it also grades this way. So it's grading down and diagonal. So I guess it's kind of grading something like that, if that makes sense. Let's just do that again for fun. So it's grading down and then diagonal. So the lowest point is that post there, and the highest point is exactly opposite, which is a forward post in this run. So I totally forgot I had the scaffolds. Actually, I got those in the, they were stored in a shed, and I totally forgot I had them. I'm like, I gotta go rent a big ladder. And then I walked into one of the garden sheds to put a flat or a pod or some kind of tool or whatever. I walked in there for some reason and turned around and realized that the shelf I was putting everything on was the scaffolds I needed. So boom, there we go. So now I have a big pile on the opposite side of the garden shed that I tried to keep organized, but it didn't work. So, you know, but there's the scaffolds, because I was using the scaffolds as shelving because I haven't needed to use those scaffolds in like 5 years. But then I needed them. So we all know how that story goes, right? This is Matt with the Low Cash Homestead, just giving you a kind of an update and overview on how we're building our high tunnel. Like I said, that toe strap is pretty much what's keeping everything from shifting as you build it, because it wobbles around. And now as we're once we put both purlin runs and all the purlins that go into this, then I can take that toe strap down. The book says, you know, using rope on each corner, but we're using a toe strap mounted up to the top, nailed to one of the boxes with some 3.5-inch galvanized cap nails. No, those aren't galvanized, but they are cap nails, so 3.5-inch cap nails. You've seen me use cap nails in other videos. I actually love cap nails. All right, so that's it. It's been wet, and we've actually dodged rain a couple of times, and every time it would dodge rain, I'd study a little further ahead into what we were doing while we waited for it to stop raining. But this is the only day that my friend could come over and help me. So there we are. So we have that scaffold there. I got another scaffold there. And I really don't like working on ladders unless it's like changing a light bulb. I'd rather use scaffolds, and scaffolds for like big outdoor stuff. It's just less, it's more comfort for me, because I'm not standing on some rung or trying to reach out or stretch too far in the wrong unsafe direction. That means me falling on the ground and going ow, or hitting my head on a garden box and being $1 million babied. Okay, anyway, this is Matt with the Low Cash Homestead. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Good morning, everybody. Matt with the Low Cash Homestead. So yesterday we got our rafters up. We got our center purlin up. We got our side purlin up. We got this thing strapped to kind of keep it where it needs to be. And today I'm going to start working on this side purlin here. So I've got my scaffold. I'm going to take a couple measurements on that based on the joints, and then we'll get the end clamps lined up. This end clamp is backwards because I made a mistake. This whole end clamps on this end that I'm standing on now are actually backwards, so I made a mistake. I'm going to try and get the one of them turned around if I can. That one up there, but it does require popping the leg off, and I don't know if that's something I want to tackle by myself. So we're gonna start running these purlins today, and again we're gonna level the purlin. We're gonna plumb the leg, and doing that made it very, very sturdy on that side, as well as if you threw a level on that purlin, it's level all the way down. Now it doesn't look like it when you're standing at the frame like this until you realize that the ground is at this kind of a grade, which we compensated for on the extreme low side, but didn't compensate for here when I bought extra parts. So it is what it is. All right, we're gonna get started, and I'll give you some updates as we go. Thanks, or maybe when we're done. All right, thanks. Have a good day. I don't know how well you can see that guy. You see that monster mamma jamma right there? Let me mess with him a little bit, see if he starts moving. Oh, there he goes. I didn't do anything to his web, but his web was like ginormous like this last night. So maybe he got wind blown or something, I don't know. But that's a monster garden spider on there. So I'm not gonna mess with him too much. Hopefully he'll just scurry along. I've gotten bit many times by spiders this spring and summer. So that's how you get scars. Scars like that, and I've got a couple on my leg too that are pretty, well, you know, they're character marks. It's Matt with the TheLowCash Homestead. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Say hi to our Rhode Islands. Hi, Rhode Islands. Hey everybody, Matt with the TheLowCash Homestead. So the good news is we got this second side purlin done. We have our cross brace struts in on both sides, on both ends. The bad news is that I confused the part number on this center purlin. The one part number is 37 PO375, and the other part number is PO735, which means that now I have to redo this whole center purlin because that part number frees up. Having that one part number wrong frees up this last purlin strut there, and without that last purlin strut, then I don't have all the components to do the machinery doors on this high tunnel. So the bad news is I have to go back and take that all apart and redo it. We're gonna see how difficult that is. I don't think it's something I'm going to attempt by myself because I didn't do it by myself putting it up. And I have to take it all down, put the right part in, realign everything. And then, as I said, with the side purlins done, then we're gonna allow that center to snap to, so that it'll kind of grade itself out or float itself in that center. You have to put the center purlin up first just to keep the building up. So in any case, I'm gonna have to go back and adjust that. That's where we are today. Oh, something that was interesting was on this side, you can see where I left the orange scaffold. Here, let me move this way a little bit. Right down there, there's an orange. Right down there, there's an orange scaffold. The way we set this up is we already had this trellis. I was thinking about including the trellis inside, but I decided not to. So I could have one trellis outside, one trellis inside to grow the vine crops all up the sides of this high tunnel if I chose to. But in doing that, I had to do all the rest of these off of a ladder, which was difficult and crappy. But we did get it done, and we went through and we plumbed. And like I said, for the part of this that I shot yesterday, level the purlin, secure the clamp with a Tech screw, and then plumb all the rafters, and that has worked out pretty well. When you're standing back looking at it, it looks really great. And I don't want it to be just functional. I don't want it to be just functional. I want it to look good as well. So bad news is I have to redo that whole purlin, which with my friend here helping out, it only took about 2 hours. So hopefully it'll take 2 hours or so, maybe 2.5 to redo it. But still, that's like 4 or 5 hours that we kind of wasted. And I figured out that the part numbers 0375 means 37.5 inches. 0072 means 72 inches. 02405 means 2 foot. No, I'm sorry. 0245 equals 24.5 inches, etc. So now that I got that all figured out, then it should be a lot easier to interpret all the part numbers and codes inside the book. Most of the framing is done, and then over here I went ahead and pre-assembled the angled purlins. The angled purlins use a different kind of mount. It's an open mount. So I went ahead and pre-assembled these purlins. These 4 go to the remaining 4th purlin, and the starter for that 4th angled purlin is actually up there on the center purlin because I used the wrong part. So that's where we are. This is Matt with TheLowCashHomestead. It is thundering and stuff, so we're going to get cleaned up. And I'm pretty much going as far as I can go for one guy by myself today. Thank you very much. Have a great day.